I'm working on a project that involves some four-sided diamond-shaped chips, and kind of made me realize that this is one of those shapes that seems super simple, seems easy, but it's actually kind of more challenging to do well than you would think. It's not hard to cut it out, but to get it to be precise and as kind of accurate as you want it to be. So obviously one of the first things that you learn in chip carving, and it's pretty easy, is the triangle chips. And the reason that's as easy as it is, I think, is just because with kind of the same reason a tripod is stable is if the three cuts meet, they meet. That's kind of all there is. There's not really a way for two of those to meet and not the other one or something like that. So they come out pretty easy. But the square actually can be more challenging, and what can end up happening is, if see if I can demonstrate it here, is you can end up with a bit of a horizontal line running down the middle rather than having all four chips meet. So that's actually not too bad, but you can probably still see there's a bit of a horizontal line. There's not, what we're looking for is these crisp lines. You just want two lines going from corner to corner and they meet in the middle at just one point. And we don't have that there. You end up with what really is, that's what we want to happen for a rectangle like this, is you should have the horizontal line coming across right there, and then kind of almost a triangular shape here on the ends. And so rectangles are actually easier than squares for that reason. That's kind of, I don't know, at least I find with myself this is naturally what tends to happen, is I end up with that horizontal line if I'm not paying close enough attention. So I think one thing is just to be aware that if you do have squares, or even, I think, diamonds might tend to be a little bit harder still. Recognizing that those are challenging and paying close attention to the knife angle, the tip of the knife, make sure that's where you want. So making sure the knife follows that line, if you need to, draw those lines to visualize the knife making those cuts. And ideally, you don't have any of this drawing motion, that the knife just slices cleanly. The tip of the knife follows that line, and then you stop when the blade gets to the other line. And that should lead to a nicer one, which, yeah, even on this one, I think my square wasn't quite perfect, but I even still ended up with that sort of line. So not something I get right every time, something to practice if that's something you're going to be doing. And the interesting thing with the diamond is that then you have two different angle shapes. This one's a tighter angle up here, and then you have a wider angle down here. And so trying to find those, I find that as I draw the knife, I have to kind of rock, because if I keep this same angle as the blade gets to this side, the tip is up here and it needs to be down in the middle. So as I come from there, I need to kind of push the knife tip down to get it into that center spot. So same thing here, kind of stop here and then roll the knife a bit, rock it forward to try to get that center. And that one turned out better than my square did. So I still have a little bit of this kind of light stuff right in those angles that don't quite come out. Just got to finish those up, but there's a nice point right there that we're looking for. So yeah, I think tips to help do that are, when you have a square or diamond, actually draw the X through that, so you can kind of see where you want the cuts to be. Same with the diamond. Cut those, and you want that point right in the middle, and you can kind of see that difference in angle there that you're going to be cutting. And make sure, think about the point of the knife being right there, and not drawing it horizontally, not making that line, and definitely just practicing and getting a feel for that, and being aware that that's something that can happen, and not being too disappointed to recognize that these four-sided shapes are, I think, more challenging than straight lines or curves or triangles or some other things that we do in chip carving.